Live from Dallas and Fort Worth, this is CBS 11 News at 10. The ones for Texas.
A lot of North Texas looks like this tonight. Thick fog moving in this evening, but we're also tracking another weather threat that is inbound for the weekend. Thank you for being with us at 10. I'm Doug Dunbar.
And I'm Gilma Avalos in for Kaylee O'Kelly while she's on leave. Meteorologist Jeff Ray is tracking our severe weather risk right now.
Thank you, Gilma. Thank you, Doug. As we take a look right now, there's nothing severe about this. This is just light rain that's been scattered across North Texas this evening, mixed in with the dense fog. A dense fog advisory goes on to 4 a.m. And you can see in pockets or some moderate rain going on just inside the loop on the Fort Worth side. And up 30, we see a good steady rain going on. But this is the type of activity we'll see most of the overnight hours. As we approach tomorrow morning, however, we expect this thunderstorm risk to really start to increase. As a warm front lifts across the area, that's going to help trigger thunderstorms just as we get the daybreak, or not before, and we're going to have a few hailstones, I think, from these thunderstorms as we cross the morning. The worst of it is still to come as we get later in the morning and across the day. I'll show you the timing of this entire threat for its store for us Saturday. Coming up in just a few minutes. But, guys, that flash flood watch has been in effect all day, goes on till tomorrow noon.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And the free CBS DFW weather app will alert you in case of severe weather wherever you are. You can also use it to send your weather pictures directly to us, and they may just end up in one of our newscasts.
Well, people in one neighborhood we know are understandably anxious about that forecast. They'd rather not see another raindrop after the Lake Rockwall neighborhood lake ended up overflowing into their homes. Neighbors say that they have seen flooding before, but honestly, they were surprised by just how fast this water came up this time.
You know, when I think it rains, I'm like, okay, it'll get a little bit filled, but never so much to where literally this family had to leave and this entire field is just gone.
Residents are being put up, we're told, in hotels until they can move back in, but the city of Rockwall says it could take a couple of weeks for that water to recede.
And we're learning new information about a house explosion that killed a 12-year-old Dallas girl. Linda Michelle Rogers died in this home near Dallas Left Field. Tonight, the evacuation zone was expanded, and it could take days before hundreds of people are allowed back in. Andrea Lucia is live near that neighborhood tonight. Andrea?
A Dallas Fire Rescue said this was a gas explosion, and they believe that it was linked to 2 house fires in just the last 2 days. Over here, you can see some of the residents who have been impacted by this. Firefighters estimate somewhere between 250 and 350 homes have been evacuated.
Evacuated from their homes, families lined up in the cold for a chance to retrieve any medicine or animals left behind.
And it was really loud. It was loud.
Dora Salas woke this morning to the sound of her neighbor's house exploding. Firefighters arrived to find a family of 5 outside a partially collapsed home.
They were crying, especially a girl.
The Dallas County Medical Examiner confirms 12-year-old Linda Michelle Rogers died. The explosion on the 3500 block of Espanola Drive happened near Durango Drive, where fires destroyed one home yesterday and damaged another the day before.
They're most likely all related as far as the gas is concerned.
Andres Portillo, a victim of yesterday's fire, says large flames shot out from his gas stove, setting off an explosion. He suffered burns on the right side of his body, but he's grateful his family wasn't home. Now he tells us he feels angry and powerless, that someone had to die to finally see action.
Well, the Portillo say the gas company Atmos Energy did come by their home yesterday, checked it out, and then left. Atmos released a statement today saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the death of the young girl. Our crews are working in close partnership with Dallas Fire Rescue as the cause of today's incident is thoroughly investigated." Reporting live in Dallas, Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.
Thank you, Andrea. Atmos, we've learned, is providing hotel rooms through Sunday to those evacuated. The Walnut Hill Rec Center is open throughout the night, not as a shelter, but as a place for those impacted to pick up food, prepaid cards for incidentals, and even for help coordinating Uber rides for people without transportation right now. The center will remain open through at least 8 tomorrow morning.
There are new questions tonight about whether law enforcement officers did everything they could to help out during the Florida school shooting. CNN is reporting tonight that when police officers from the city of Coral Springs first arrived at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, they say that they were surprised to find a total of 4 Broward County Sheriff's deputies actually stationed outside the building.
The report says the officers had their guns drawn, but they weren't going inside. They weren't searching for the shooter or helping treat people who were wounded inside. One of those deputies, for sure, we know, was School Resource Officer Scott Peterson, who did resign yesterday as the sheriff began his investigation. Official findings and what exactly went right and wrong are scheduled, we hear, to be released sometime next week.
And since that Florida school shooting, the threats are adding up here in North Texas. Now, after one incident at a middle school, one mom says she's very nearly had enough. Marianne Martinez is live in Keller tonight with her story. Marianne?
Well, Gilma, the threat to Indian Springs Middle School was made by a student perhaps as young as 5th grade. We don't know the age or the gender of this student, but police say that student made the threat by hacking into the school's Instagram page.
The threatening message has already been taken down from the school's Instagram page, where Keller police say the threat was made. The student posted a threatening message as well as a picture of a weapon.
Every time I went to school, I told my mom I love her.
Always tell them, don't leave the house without hugging me, saying goodbye, or saying I love you, Hug me every day, because you never know when it's going to be your last, So
Natasha Gonzalez's daughter is a 5th grader at Indian Springs Middle School. Gonzalez says she learned about the threat from her daughter.
I stayed calm. I was glad that there was cops and the guard in our school.
Keller police were at the school and say they determined that the threat was not credible. On Twitter, police warned that all threats would be taken seriously and would include real-world consequences.
There's been several threats already at Indian Springs and several incidences that have already happened within the past month and a half. And the way they communicate to parents is like, they leave you wondering what happened.
This mom, who also has a student at Keller High School, says she's considering pulling her kids to other schools. She says she's sick of sending her kids to school and worrying about their safety.
Heaven forbid anything happens, I want to make sure that, my kid knows that I love her and I got that opportunity to hug her if something was to happen.
Now, it's next for the student who made the threat. According to police, they say that student will be turned over to the Tarrant County Juvenile Detention Center and will likely be charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a 3rd-degree felony. Reporting live from Keller, Marianne Martinez, CBS 11 News.
Thank you, Marianne. 17-year-old high school student Tyler Hendricks is in jail accused of making a terroristic threat. Police say he had a hit list at Princeton High School, but only intended it as a joke. The superintendent sent a letter home to parents today explaining that students are safe and that jokes are taken seriously, especially in today's climate.
Officers from 2 different North Texas police departments are coming together tonight to show their support for a little girl who's going through a pretty rough time right now. Yona Gavino, live for us over at the Dr. Pepper Star Center in Plano to tell us what they're doing to help out tonight. Yona?
That little girl actually is living with a terminal disease, but her parents say she is resilient. They're calling her both a miracle and a fighter. And tonight they got a chance to watch their family, specifically their dad, take the ice.
Heather Abear's 8-year-old daughter is facing a life-threatening illness.
So Alexa has idiopathic pulmonary hypertension, and it is a very rare lung disease.
Well, I have to wear a mask so I don't catch that other person's disease.
Like colds and coughs and flu.
Alexa was diagnosed at 9 months.
Take lots and lots of x-rays. They give me IVs.
She's been in and out of hospitals, staying months at a time.
I'm kind of getting used to it, but it is kind of hard.
Tonight, Alexa dropped the puck at the charity hockey game between Dallas and Richardson police officers.
This event is helping her fund her trip to the PH conference, the Pulmonary Hypertension Conference, which happens every 2 years.
Really, really excited.
For a lot of these kids, they don't get to see other children that have this disorder. They don't get to see kids that wear backpacks with pumps. They don't get to see other kids that have oxygen, that are in wheelchairs.
Heather says the family is taking it one day at a time and counting down the days until the conference this summer.
It's heartwarming to know that everybody's coming together just to help her achieve her goal of getting to be with other kids that are just like her.
And Heather also tells me that Alexa isn't able to attend school right now because of everything that's going on. So she's really looking forward to the conference and to making new friends. Live in Plano, Yona Gavino, CBS 11 News.
Thank you, Yona. We are rooting for Alexa. Trading blows in the classroom while a teacher recorded.
Next at 10 o'clock, what a North Texas school district is doing after learning about that video.
And for the first time this flu season, an encouraging sign that we've made it past the worst of this year's outbreak.
Also, did you hear? Cowboys wide receiver Dez Bryant opening up about his disappointing season. And he says he's about to shut a lot of people up. A North Texas high school teacher's on leave tonight after that video surfaced of a fight in a classroom, and the only thing he did about it was record it, blow by blow. McKinney ISD says the incident was reported on Wednesday. The teacher, they tell us, was immediately put on administrative leave. The district does require teachers to attempt to stop or at least try to de-escalate altercations between students. The district says the students fighting were also disciplined.
We have new information tonight in an I-Team investigation about a volunteer coach charged with sexual assault. Andre McGee was in court today and pleaded not guilty to that charge. McGee spent years working with the Navarro cheer program in Corsicana until an 18-year-old reported him to police. The male cheerleader said McGee drugged and sexually assaulted him in 2016. McGee was indicted in March of 2017, but wasn't arrested until November after an I-Team investigation found him working as a substitute teacher. McGee's trial is set for May, and we're going to keep following this case for you and bring you any new information as we get it.
For the very first time this flu season, the number of people getting sick is now on the decline. CDC says that fewer people are going to the doctor now to complain of flu-like illnesses, but the season certainly is not over. The CDC says 13 more children also died of the flu in the last week alone. That brings the total child flu deaths this year to nearly 100. Here in North Texas, at least 127 people in all have died this season from complications related to the flu, with the most deaths centered, as you see here on the map, in Dallas County.
New at 10, we've learned a popular Dallas taco shop fired its general manager after what we showed you right here last night at 10. Our Jeff Paul revealed piles of trash stacked up outside Fuzzy's Tacos in Deep Ellum. Neighboring businesses complained the business was even using their dumpsters. When Jeff Paul spoke to one of Fuzzy's managing partners, he assured us the problem was fixed. But video shot just before that discussion shows the general manager again dumping trash in another business's dumpster. This evening, Fuzzy's told CBS 11 when an employee continued this behavior after being told it was unacceptable, we took immediate action.
A hotel in North Fort Worth drew quite the crowd today.
Of course, that's what you'd expect when hosting an unusual guest. Under a raincoat and gray skies, Randall Patterson couldn't hide his excitement.
Awesome.
Staying at this Courtyard Marriott, a very rare guest.
I'm hoping to. He's stretching right now.
Perched on the roof, the majestic snowy owl, far away from home. They normally nest in the Arctic tundra, rarely seen this far south.
You know, I actually, a few weeks ago, went to New York after these same birds, and now here's one in our backyard.
Patterson wasn't alone. Word of this unique visitor traveled fast. Birders from around the state flocked to North Fort Worth. Betty Dunn drove for hours. She's from Bernie, near San Antonio.
Oh my gosh, this is like mega bird. It's huge.
She spotted hundreds of birds in Texas.
Check another one on the list, but this one's really special. It's beautiful.
Among the gaggle of onlookers, more than just seasoned birders.
I thought it would be pretty cool to see it flying.
The common grackle likely feeling more common than ever, getting little attention. As the pros focus their lenses on this model, hoping for that perfect shot.
You know, everybody's hoping for blue skies. That bird is going to be beautiful with a nice blue sky behind it.
So where exactly are people flocking to? The hotel located off of I-35W and Heritage Trace Parkway. And these snowies have also been spotted in Denison and Odessa this winter alone.
Wow. And you thought the grackle couldn't get any lower on the totem pole. Now it just like went underground after that.
Get out of the shot.
That's terrible. All right, so Scott's off tonight. Jeff Ray, thank you for being with us, especially with what is coming our way for tomorrow, and especially if you didn't catch weather early on in the day today, something you really should know about for tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a lot of weather still to get with and get through, and I know we've already been through a lot here this week, but it's going to end with at least the threat of some severe weather before this is all said and done with. Now, first, one little piece of good news. There was a dense fog advisory. It's out till 4 a.m., but the fog has improved around the metro area because we've had a little bit of light rain. That mixes up the lower levels of the atmosphere, improves visibility here a little bit. Now, if the rain would to leave for maybe a couple of hours, we'll get right back into some dense fog. So they're going to keep the advisory out and continue it till 4 a.m. for the rest of the night as we continue to see the dense fog advisory in play. We're going to have a lot of rain still to get through, maybe 1 or 2 good rounds. Keep this in mind. The first 80 days of winter, we had about 5.5 inches of rain. We've had close to that in the last 4 days. And more rain is going to fall before this is all said and done with. Now, this is all just light stuff around here right now. We'll zoom in a little bit tighter. You see around Fort Worth, we've seen a few showers that have shown something a little bit more towards moderate rain, but it'd be very brief if you're out and about here for the evening hours, or might cross over your roof here over the next couple of hours. I think most of this activity falls around after midnight when we really start picking up the intensity and the coverage. The flash flood watch continues till tomorrow at noon, and I'll show you why, because Future Sky Forecast shows this warm front creeping up slowly from the south. And what it does is help trigger more activity. So we get into the middle of the night and suddenly we start seeing the radar showing more rain. And I think as we get towards daybreak, we'll really start to see more thunderstorms. This is at 5 in the morning, and we'll probably start seeing that development of thunderstorms that could produce even large hail going on in the morning hours. This would be right over the Metroplex across the morning. But this is what I'm more concerned about is when the cold front comes in. This is still in the morning hours, about 9 a.m., but it's going to focus a line of thunderstorms that are going to roll right across the Metroplex. So we really got 2 chances for strong thunderstorms, with this one being the greater chance as it moves through, maybe even some damaging winds, and the hail threat will increase as we get closer to the noon hour. That line is going to start rolling into our eastern counties after lunch, and it's really, I think, the highest severe risk, including the risk of tornadoes, in the afternoon hours. That doesn't include the Metroplex. Actually, it'll start to clear out after we get much past the noon hour. But this is going to be an area we'll have to watch carefully as well for the development of severe weather. And then it all just leaves. It is gone. But from 10 to 1, large hail damaging winds, and from 1 to 4 in our eastern counties, we're talking about even the risk of isolated tornadoes. 7-day forecast shows you the good news about this weekend. It comes on Sunday. It's 70 degrees and the sun is out. Same story on Monday, but rain and even strong thunderstorms are back on Wednesday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sick of tracking your steps on your wrist? VSP Global will unveil a pair of smart glasses called Level next month. The frames work via Bluetooth to track steps, distance, calories burned, and total activity time. A pair will set you back $270, but that doesn't include the lenses.
April's NFL draft over at AT&T Stadium in Arlington is the hottest ticket in town. More than 100,000 fans have signed up for the free ticket lottery in just 3 days. Fans from all 50 states, we're told, want to be at this event. Texas had the most requests, followed by Pennsylvania, home of the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Registration, by the way, is open through Wednesday, March 14th.
The time has come for Dez Bryant to speak his mind. The Cowboys receiver opens up about his struggles last season, why it's going to be different this coming season, why he expects to be back in Dallas, and a message for those who doubt his current skills.
Now, your Nissan Sports Desk.
The Cowboys face several big questions this offseason, none bigger than what to do with Dez Bryant, who tonight on 105.3 The Fan said he can't see himself playing anywhere besides Dallas. Despite any rumors floating around, he still wants to achieve greatness right here.
You know, I do want to bring this city, a championship.
To win a title, the Cowboys will need a championship effort from the entire team. And Dez admits his effort fell short last year.
Like I said, I'm not trying to make any excuses because it's none, because I accept everything. I dropped passes that I shouldn't have dropped.
Prescott over the middle, off the hands of Bryant, another interception.
I think I have to throw him a better ball. I mean, just put it right there on his face mask. Don't give him a chance to drop it, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take heat, and I'm not saying that I don't deserve it. But at the same time, hey, man, I've been grinding. I want people to know, man, me and Dak, we 100% fine. You know, everything is not going to be perfect. Life is not perfect. It's up to us, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make this situation right.
What is not a perfect situation is the potential off-season negotiations between Bryant and the Jones family. Dez is scheduled to count $16.5 million against the cap this coming season. The Cowboys may want to reduce that by asking him to take a pay cut.
I think everything I got, I deserved it. Everything I got. You know, and I can get into way more details with that, but I'll leave that up to, you know, when it's time for me to sit down and talk with the Joneses or whatever, whenever that is.
And we all know this is a business where everybody has to be accountable.
I just want to work. That's all I want to do. I want to work. I want to stay out of the way. I want to control what I can control, and I want my respect. That's it.
Dez understands this is a business, and no one thinks more of Dez Bryant than starting at the top, Jerry.
I'm ready to make my mark. I don't care about what nobody's talking about. I can care less. You know, everybody ain't with Dez Bryant. They can kiss my...
The words of Cowboys receiver Dez Bryant. Meantime, Mavs rookie Dennis Smith Jr. says he has nothing to say about a report that names him in federal documents as receiving over $73,000 from a sports agency before he turned pro. Smith Jr. and the Mavs' first game since the All-Star break. Clearly, they did not come out focused. The Lakers, that's a different story. Julius Randle from Prestonwood Christian Academy and the boys jump out to a 27-8 lead. Right now, Lakers still up 12 in the second quarter. 6A girls high school basketball playoffs. Arlington Bowie and back-to-back defending state champs from Duncanville. Pantherette 6'5" sophomore Hannah Gusters. She's doing some work. Senior Crislin Marsh, she finishes the break. Number one Duncanville wins 66-45. They meet Plano tomorrow in the regional finals. Winner heads to San Antonio. That is what you call a powerhouse.
Not bad.
As for Dez, I don't know what you call that.
Catch the ball.
Candid.
Catch.
Yes.
We all good.
We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock. We are the ones for Texas.
Have a great night and a better weekend.
Party starts now. Here we go.